And that is us down to 2 more matches, 2 more games to see if anybody can pull off the miracle. But right now, I feel like Bulgaria is just a rock, Felix. They're just so hard to push over.
I don't think anyone's gonna catch them. I gotta be honest and blunt like that. I wish I could give you more hope for a more exciting ending, but it's 30 points. At the very least, if anyone is gonna be able to catch them, it's gotta be in the next game, because after that, mathematically, it becomes almost impossible. If you know, just based off probability, it isn't already. So yeah, if it doesn't happen in the next game, I think it's done and dusted. I don't even know how that happened. To be honest, when we started the day, I thought there were so many candidates that could still potentially make that comeback happen. And now it just seems like the top 5 have been locked in for what feels like forever, right? I mean, France, Ukraine, Turkey. Yes, we've talked about these guys a million times. But now also Romania, with that one big win, seems to be undeniably well placed in that top 5. And Bulgaria, kind of the same way, even though they haven't won a round, they just haven't stopped fragging out, and it's good to see, because it seems like we found the 5 most deserving countries to go towards Riyadh.
It also feels like they are taking turns at this point. Every round, there's one of the big dogs taking a big win. It's been Ukraine, it's been France, it's been Romania. They're all just taking turns at winning these games. And they're making it so hard for anyone to try and catch up. And they're making it almost impossible for anybody to get close to that pack. So, pretty tough times for what's been going on below the top 5. But I think this is the last chance. We're going to try and keep telling these stories of teams coming back. If they don't do it this game, I'm gonna stop trying. But if you do it this game, there is a chance. 59 to what I think is 90 points, right? That's doable in 2 games, but you can't do it in 1. It's not happening. So last chance for a lot of these teams. Last chance even for the teams who won't make it anymore. A team like a Croatia, a team like a Belgium, a Germany. With a big game, they can still push them up so far up the leaderboard and prove to people, hey, we're here to play. You know, we're not just bottom half of the scoreboard. We're here to play. We've come out to play, and we deserve to be here as well.
It seems to me that the middle of the pack is so much closer than the top 5 now, and that wasn't the case at the beginning of the day, right? We said the middle of the pack was kind of more stretched out than the top 7, top 8, maybe even top 9 teams after Serbia actually took home that win. And now it's all changed. It seems like the top 5 are locked in, and that's never a good thing, at least in terms of, obviously, viewer perspective now going into the last 2 games. But you never know what's going to happen. One thing's for sure, though. If anyone wants to catch up mathematically, once again, it needs to happen in the next game. Otherwise, it's not going to be enough. Even a win with like 10, 15 points is not going to be enough with how big the difference is between 5th and 6th place. These top 5 teams have played the most consistent PUBG Mobile that we've seen, and they've also, obviously, speaking on themselves, quite the big difference in terms of points up until their 6th and even 7th spot. So, going to be exciting going to the last 2 games.
Yeah, and it's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt for a lot of these teams. It's gotta hurt for Belarus and Poland, who were in really, really good spots yesterday, and Moldova as well, right? Moldova was one of the contenders coming into the day, and they've not shown up at all. They've not had a good run. We have a few more seconds until the players will show us everything they've got, until they'll show us on Miramar as well. We're switching maps, we're switching pace, we're switching loot spots, and we're giving players 2 more shots at this, and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see who pulls it up. I'm excited to see if we get a win of a team that we haven't seen yet, because they've been, you know, fairly spread apart towards those top teams, but there's no team, Felix, by the way, no team with 2 wins, no team with 3 wins, but Ukraine has 4.
Yeah, Ukraine is nuts. I don't know. Ukraine is nuts. I don't know how to even understand why that has happened, because it feels like with so many other big contenders, you would think closing out games is going to be harder, but for them it seems the other way around. They've not played as consistent as France and Turkey, but they've played as consistent as anyone. And even more so, they've been the most consistent teams when it comes to actually closing out these games. So whenever they do get into late game scenarios, they just take it home. And once again, it's been showing in the statistics, and I kind of want to say it's the toughest thing to do as well. closing out games. There's so many variables that go into closing out a game as opposed to just playing consistent. So that also, I want to say, is kind of an advantage of Ukraine right now. Maybe even going into Riyadh. And I also said it from the very beginning. I said that maybe the difference between them and Turkey today is going to be that Ukraine really wants to take the one spot. They don't want to take anything else. They don't want to take top 5. They want to take 1. They want to be the best team in Europe, country-wise, and they're showing that right now.
They're showing a lot of dominance right now. They're showing a lot of skill as well at winning games, right? It's not something that you can leave aside. The amount of placement points they've been able to gather, the amount of wins that they've been able to string together is absolutely crazy. We head on into a first of 2 Miramars, Moldova in a hot drop, but it's not just against Luxembourg. There's more teams involved here. This is a super stacked city, Felix.
Yeah, super stacked city. More teams than just the 2. Germany in the back lines there as well with a cheeky little split with Azerbaijan in the distance as well. It might be a 4-way fight, actually, depending on how this goes. Luxembourg right below Moldova here. Might even be 5 teams then. Yes, it's actually 5 teams. Are you kidding me? It's 5 teams all around this city, all around La Copiera. The first team has already been eliminated. Everyone knows it's going down to the wire right now. Everyone needs to take home as many points as they can, and Luxembourg is going to be the first team to lose players here in this 5-way fight. Azerbaijan appears to be the second one as Folly takes him down.
2 fronts is what Moldova is fighting right now. That might be what they need to take on, though. This might be the thing they need to do. Maybe 8 kills coming out of this hot drop, Felix. Maybe that's what makes people believe. Maybe that's what makes them come back. Codex, they have been suffering today. They've been struggling today. But maybe this is the game to bring them back. Watch Me has a really good idea that there's a player above him. So he's not going to overstep. He's going to try to bide his time, while also providing a little bit of support. I think there's still 2 Luxembourg players in that building to the south of the road. And then, as you said, Germany is looking into this. Germany is sniffing out the area, figuring out where they can get in and what kind of push they can take. And V8, for example, he has to be so careful. I don't think he has an idea.
No, I don't think he knows. He must have heard by now that someone is above him, but I think he still doesn't really fully realize the danger of the situation he's in, with more Azerbaijani players all around him.
Yeah, the full Germany behind him.
V8, yeah, Germany hasn't even entered this fight. But now V8 has spotted him. He's trying to go for these jump shots. Can be very dangerous and really, really beneficial as well. But now the play up top is going to be sandwiched between 2 players at the same time. And I think they've just been able to take him down. Actually, no, he's still alive. But now Marlo, any second, is surely going to try and take this one. Paulie's engaging the player now. But Marlo is going to come out on top. Gets immediately traded, though, by Germany.
It's a big entry for Germany. It's going to make that fight that little bit easier to approach. But if they're not watching out, this fight's over before they even enter. Now, 2 knocked on Moldova, 1 flushed, just 1 player left standing. And Azerbaijan as well have lost 1. 3 man up still a force to be reckoned with. But you can see Germany is pretty hesitant about this. They get the opening knock, but they know there's a whole lot left in this. And they don't want to overstep. They don't want to walk past the shotgun and lose 2.
Yeah. Good on them for doing so. Gotta be honest. Good on them for doing so. More players now being taken out. Georgia is the second team to be eliminated. After Albania, which is 1 player from Luxembourg, is missing as well to potentially make that 3. Now Germany is running in. Should be able to potentially catch off guard a couple of players, but actually 2 from Germany being flushed out and taken down almost immediately as soon as they entered the building. And I think it's just 1 player left alive now. Marlo is looking for him. He's got no amount of heal. He's only got 2 bullets left in the chamber, and he's going to be taken down by 0, but not without doing massive amounts of damage. And look at this. It's only 1 player left standing for Germany. He's being surrounded by Azerbaijani players already.
He's trying to get at least 1 of these reses through before they come on in, but it's going to be a hard task. Ghosty still on his knees, still knocked down. They don't want to let him get flushed, but they might have to concede this just to survive. 0 comes around the back, at least a little bit of freedom for him, a little bit of space to move around. He comes back in, the DBS is not connecting, and just like that, Germany, a few kills, 3 of them this time, and they are sand packing. Azerbaijan is the team that comes out on top of this hot drop. Not sure if they have any idea that Luxembourg is still here as well, by the way. But 6 kills is a solid start. 6 kills is where you might want to start being okay with trading a player for it.
Yeah. Wow. Honestly, wow. That was a 5-way fight. And it looks like Azerbaijan was the one team to come out of this one with 8 frags, if I see that correctly. 8 frags out of this one. Now, we said it's going to be unlikely anyone's going to catch up, but that is one hell of a beginning. That is one hell of a beginning. That's exactly what you need if you want to catch up. And despite that, it's still almost 30 points. Unfortunately, they've lost a player. Otherwise, I would have deemed it very possible for them to do more with this one, as we are down to almost the usual number of teams in Phase 1.
Bit of a bridge camp on the south side of the map, not leading to a whole lot. Poland, they were in an early fight. They lost some members, but they also picked up a kill. Maybe they've even stayed clean in this, excuse me. 4 elims, 4 players up, and they're taking the fight straight to Armenia. Another kill granted, another point picked up. Now, if Pusher doesn't hit some absolute bangers, this is going to be a pretty tricky fight for Armenia, because they're just now getting the 3rd player in the mix at all. Poland, a sign of life, but is it too little too late?
One more nade from Pusher. Could do massive damage, but he's not going to catch anyone just yet. Poland is fairly safe in and around that ridge line. Pusher doesn't seem to know that they're all further towards the western side. Oh, Neymar falls down. That is horrible. That is horrible. It equalizes the situation. Poland really just wanted to get away from this, but now they might be in trouble in terms of reviving this player, but it doesn't look like Armenia's making too big of a move. They must have realized that this happened, but once again, them being down to 3 does keep them at bay for the time being.
Hate to lose a player to the blue zone. Bit of fall damage might have been in the mix. Push it on the roof. Good angle for him, but has to be caught out. Has to be careful not to get caught out as well. Poland needs to string together some big games here, right? They need big stuff coming out. They spot Pusher on the roof here, Glonked, I think. But how much can they do against this? And how long can this fight last before both teams are losers? Before both teams are just too low, too many meds consumed, too much damage taken. Pusher only finds 1. Armenia is not looking good. And Poland might have just closed this in time to actually still make it to zone here, Felix.
Next zone happens. Far towards the western side. That is horrible for all these teams right now that we just witnessed. Poland especially.
Oh,
look at the distance Poland now needs to cover to even get into the second phase. That's nuts. And likewise for Spain, for example. As we have the next fight happening. We will see, and that's just the nature of a qualification like this. We will see more fights happening early on. It's the same way we saw Germany, for example, going for that hot job in South Georgia's last game. When you need big rounds, that is kind of your best chance of getting these, right? Starting off early, isolating players and teams. Maybe trying to get into situations that you have the advantage on early on.
That is what you need to be doing. Find a weakened team. Try and push onto that weakness. Try and eliminate whatever you can see. It just shows you any signs of weakness. Melbourne trying to do just that. Now he's going to ring out the shots here on this car in a second. But there it is. The off angle from the side. He had no idea. It's a nice trade, though. It's a good bunch of damage traded, but it is the flush coming out. And now suddenly a team that was driving away is pulling up right into your face. Striker has to deal with this right here, right now. Gets behind the car, a little bit of cover to play with, but it's an absolute mess. Potentially gets involved from far, but it's not enough to save his teammate. Now he's in the open. This is a messy fight. And the 3rd team here, Croatia, has barely gotten involved yet.
Yeah. Still kind of looking at the Libor situation, how all of this is going to matter, because Belarus, 5 frags. We said everyone who wants to have a shot on this one in the next game needs to win now. Now, Belarus, yes, it's a good start. Same for Poland, same for Azerbaijan, but all these teams have already been in fights, and 2 out of these 3 have been weakened already. And yes, Serbia has got a chance in this one as well, but they need even more than just a win and another game. They need a win and another big game, potentially even 2 wins to make it happen. I think they actually do need to win safely.
Yeah.
So Serbia is nowhere near that right now. So realistically, 2 out of these 3 teams that could catch up have lost a player at the very least, if not 3 players already.
You need a back-to-back. That's what I'm going to say. If somebody is going to close that gap, they need a back-to-back. And I see Bishke knocked in the kill feed there. Yeah, they're taking a fight. Sure. but they're taking a fight to one of the best teams in the lobby. They better get away with it. They better get away with it cleanly as well. Poland is continuously on the left side of that kill feed as well, Felix. They're picking up a whole lot of frags, and they're making their way towards that 6th place that they're trying to push themselves out of. Melash now, look at this. So much pressure coming his way. His car's almost blown up. The DMR shots from Wild from range are an actual problem here for this Serbian squad. And if they can't deal with it quickly, there's going to be someone else around to try and benefit.
Yeah. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. It's a pretty tough zone on top of all things as well. If you look at it, like realistically, it makes sense that so many teams are still outside of it. I feel like half of the lobby is outside fighting themselves. And then you have Turkey playing for center circle. You have Serbia playing for center circle. Some of these teams that really, really need to do it and haven't been caught in fights phase 1. These are the ones that kind of go for centralized positions more so than others. But if it's going to work out, we'll have to wait.
What a molly.
Serbia is being third party here. Really good molly. That's how you use these. Molotovs can be so beneficial, but it's really hard to use and find the correct situation to actually do it. Some rounds. It's going to result not only one knock, but a second knock as well. And Serbia is in big, big trouble. This might be it for them. Yeah. This might be the end of the qualification run.
Just too much pressure for too long from too many sides. Now they're picking up Koa. They're going down into the low ground compound. Can they at least make it in there with 2 players? Okay, maybe a bit of a reset, but how much are you going to do as a duo with France next to you as well? France on one side, Turkey on the other, Czech Republic looking on in. It's not looking spicy for them. It's not looking good for Koa and the rest of the squad. And on the other side of things, Poland continues to be on the kill feed, but this time it's on the wrong side.
Man, it's... I feel like Poland... If anyone's going to step up, I feel like it's going to be Poland. But Poland is in such a tough spot from what we've just witnessed that I think it gets all the more unlikely. One more knock coming out from Turkey. Turkey has been super, super quiet today. We've talked about this. So them prioritizing zone in this one, bringing things back, trying to prioritize position here and pick up some very easy frags in this specific circle is not out of character. They need to bring back the confidence. They don't want to drop down to 5th place. I think that would be probably the biggest upset even today, with Bulgaria potentially even overtaking them, and it's only 2 points. That's how crazy Bulgaria's run has been, and that's how crazy Turkey has lost their point average during the 5 games that we've witnessed, or 4 games rather, and the 5th game right now.
Yeah, this is going to be something that they'll have to think about, and something that they'll have to look at when they look at the World Esports Cup. These guys, they're a full team as well, right? They're a full team in their normal lineup. Brigham Karia, Bra Esports. They have their coaching staff here. They have their full lineup here, and they'll have to look at what happened on this day too, and how they fell off this hard. Because realistically, that was below their standards. That was not the Turkey we've seen yesterday. And if that happens on a bigger scale, on the finals at the World Esports Cup, then that's going to be a problem for them, because competition is going to be so much far more fierce there. And you're not going to be happy with a 4th place there. That's where every single placement matters. This time, it doesn't matter that much. They will still qualify. But if that happens to you at the World Esports Cup, that's going to be giving a big chunk of the prize pool if you're falling down from 1st to 4th.
Yeah. That's exactly what that means. Next circle that we're seeing right now, it's still crazy. That specific circle in a best of 2 now, essentially, is such a good message now for all these top teams that just want to stay inside, because for some teams, it's such a tough road getting in here, and you can see Poland, Azerbaijan, all these teams had to actually fight their way in here. And for some, it really wasn't, like Turkey, like France, for example. I mean, it's almost the furthest west circle that you could potentially have, and that means for all these teams rotating from an eastern or northern or southern position, it's a really far way, and that combined with 20 other teams means you're going to be forced into fights, like Poland has been, like Azerbaijan has been, like Belarus and all these teams. So good on all these top teams to actually kind of dodge all these fights and trying to go for safe rotations. But yeah, then again, tough circle. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. More fights will be happening until phase 5, and it's already only 12 teams alive.
Yeah, this has been a brutal game. This has been a game where we lose a lot of teams early, a lot of fights, but the Circle is to blame for this, I think. The phase 2 shift was absolutely mental.
Yeah.
And forced a lot of teams into these early skirmishes, these early fights. Poland's made a move, right? Poland's gotten themselves 10 elims. That's big. Now, how do they move out of this town? And how do they keep players alive? That's the next question, and that's the next big problem. Because if they don't win this one, it's going to be hard. And if Bulgaria puts any sort of points on the board, Turkey puts any sort of points on the board, impossible to catch. So Poland can't be happy with what they achieved so far, and they can't let it stop them that they've lost a member here.
No, really can't. Croatia in the next fight will be naded from Montenegro. Montenegro has been desperately trying to get into late game in any of these rounds, but they just have always been caught up in early skirmishes. If it hasn't been a contest against Albania, then it's been some kind of other skirmish. May that be Spain, may that be Serbia. We've seen it all at this point. And even though the fighting has been relatively good for them, I'm going to say I'm positively surprised by a lot, actually, by Montenegro. Whenever we see them fight, they're showing creativity, they're showing initiative. Just getting to late game and picking fights that are actually kind of like necessary and beneficial to them has been, I want to say, the biggest problem for them in this qualifier stage so far. So 39 points. That's what they're at the moment.
Yeah. It's staying clean as well has been a problem. I think they win their fights a lot. They get a lot of kills. And I think they got together a very reasonable hold here. That was not easy versus Croatia. But they're not able to stay clean with it. They're not able to keep 4 players up. Now, one good nade could do the trick for Croatia. I'm not quite sure if he knows where they are. But even if Croatia does get cleared out here, even if they do get themselves another elim, another good molly. Wow. Player's been so clean with this. But even if they do, Poland's on the doorstep. And it won't matter. It won't matter if you get the res now or later. You're not making it into placements. You're not making it into late game here.
Good stuff. Croatia will indeed find the last player. I think it was Hyde from Montenegro. He gets taken out. 39 points is going to be their final point standing going into the last game of this qualifier. And for Croatia, it is about honor. It is about dignity. 39 points for them as well, overtaking direct competition Montenegro on the overall leaderboard. And there's still a couple of places they could potentially make their way up to. First leaderboard page is reached. If they would maybe get into a top 3, top 2 scenario in this one. But that might be a tough rotate in as well. You could see some of these top teams still alive all around. Azerbaijan has lost a player in the process. Poland is now still 3 players long, but a big problem for all of these teams is, and once again, it's no surprise that we have these 5 teams with such a big distance on the overall leaderboards up ahead. The big problem is that Bulgaria, Turkey, France, and Ukraine has all lost a player. They have not lost a player yet, and it's down to 11 teams. All the top teams are in a really good spot as of right now, and I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, you just have to look at that live leaderboard, and you just have to understand why it's so hard to catch up to the top 5. Just look for green. Look for green on the live leaderboard, and you understand why the top 5 is there, right? It's tough. It's tricky. And now Poland, they want to make a move. They're getting shot in the back by the last Croatian player. I'm not sure where they're going in this. I'm not sure what position they've picked out for themselves. Maybe it's the center shack, but now the cars crashed. They're in the middle of the open. They're getting peppered.
What are these
Their
positions?
game is done. I don't know if that's a flip. I don't know if that's a tire pop. This car looks fine to me. But if they want to play there, then that's not a play. I'm sorry. This is not the Poland we've seen on day 1. And it really, really hurts to see them this way.
I can understand. I felt like it's a good spot, but it's only a good spot if Ukraine doesn't control the complete eastern side. And just look at their positions. What can you actually do against positions like these coming out from Ukraine? There's a million sidelines, a million angles. You're not going to be safe anywhere on the northern or southern or even centralized side or edge. So it's just wow. It just goes to show you Ukraine is up there with 143 points. Absolutely deservingly so. And despite them controlling the complete northern side and kind of harassing anyone on coming in, they still have that compound on the southern side. And they still were able to keep out Romania up until this point. Now that fight needs to happen. We can see PUBGM is kind of preparing for it. But they've still got all 4 players. And they've already secured 4 eliminations. So they've already gotten as much as they wanted to out of this round.
Postman is ready, but not ready for a fight. He's ready to get out of there, and he's hoping to get out of there. He gets out of there alive. Tulika knocked on the other side means a whole lot of resources invested to try and get that knock and get that res back up on his feet. Now, Romania has been bought a little bit of time here to figure out what they want to do with this, and sending Dorian over to the other side of the road will tell him, hey, there's lots of space here. There's actually not a lot of players in front of us. We can just cross the road. We do not have to commit for a full fight versus the Ukraine. So likely going to see them doing that, and likely going to see them switching into some of these positions between the Czech Republic and the Croatia solo. Few red lines to be played, but it's looking like they want more. It's looking like they're just breaching the compound. Dorian, did he not know there was cars here, or does he just not care?
I think he just doesn't care at this point. Dorian pulls up on the compound. Czech Republic right inside of it. He vaults in. He doesn't get spotted. S12K in hand. It's a quick trade. I think it's 2 trades, actually, to get all the help of Turkey out there in the distance. Going the way of Czech Republic. That means it's only Lawrence left alive, left standing, trying to keep Romania in this tournament. And he's done so beautifully today, but at least in this round, it's just not going to be enough. Unfortunately, Czech Republic holding too strong, and the support, especially from Turkey, has just been too damn good. And they will clear out this side. I think they're already making their way towards this. Turkey 6 frags as a result, and on 101 points, have crossed the 100-point barrier as well.
Ukraine is big and chilling, taking space now that Romania has just given up, has not decided to be worth playing, and has made this a little bit easier for the Ukrainian squad. We're just into placements now. We still have the Serbia duo clinging onto dear life, hoping that they could do something big out of this one. But we have a whole lot of the top dogs still eyes on the prize. 6 elims for Turkey, 4 for Ukraine. They're just not stopping. They're just playing the best PUBG. It's hard to argue with it.
Yeah, Ukraine. Look at the positions again. I really want to touch on this. I mean, they rotated down the hill, and you would think maybe they have less space now, but maybe more space now. They're literally still controlling, I want to say, a quarter, if not half of the circle right now. I mean, actually controlling, I want to say half of it. They're controlling Czech Republic running out of it. They're keeping anyone from the north side of actually going inside the current safe zone. The only team that they're not necessarily controlling as much as Turkey, but that's only because Turkey's playing the edge relatively safely right now. So, massive stuff from Ukraine. Goes to show you these guys are so experienced. They know how to play out these circles. They know the sidelines perfectly as well. And they know how to position the players, each individual, to get the most amount of points and deny everyone else of playing their game. And yeah, 144 points speaks volume about it.
Speaks volumes, loud and clear. And France is in second place. A team that, oh, look at that. That's just sexy. That's just a good nade. Second one is cooked, but doesn't bounce on in. Few shots come out, the breach is there. Kua has to do absolute wonders here. Maybe he gets a double nade out the door. I don't think he'll have time for it. And just like that. Another 2 elims for France. Another bit of space. Ghana, as I said earlier, Serbia, sure, you have a bit of low ground, but you're next to France, and they don't just let you get away with it either. 118 for them, yes. Ukraine's been running away with it, but such a clean approach to the game and such good execution from them almost every time.
Couldn't agree more. France still trying to cling to any of these edge fights. And staying alive, 4 frags is what they've been getting so far. And once again, typical France situation, right? Finding themselves in late game. We don't know where they got these frags from, but apparently they just rain in for them. And they've not lost a player either. Only Ukraine thus far has been losing players in the later stages of this game, at least in terms of the top 3 teams. Azerbaijan and Czech Republic still in, and with only 1 game left. These are still some very valuable points for Azerbaijan. The thought that maybe something is possible, I think that's still alive for Azerbaijan at this point. That 1 more point is going to secure them 71 points. So that means it's just above 22 points now. Just above 22 points difference to Bulgaria. So it becomes possible. Same for Poland, same for Belarus. But a big one is more than just needed. A big one is an absolute necessity. And that includes the prerequisite that Bulgaria is not doing anything in the next game.
Yeah. You gotta pretty much win. If you want to secure it. If you get a double-digit win and you manage to make sure that Bulgaria doesn't get a whole lot of points, it's yours, and it's a heartbreak for Bulgaria. But we still have the 3 top dogs and 1 poor Czech soul in this late game here. Ukraine, they've lost a member earlier, and now they've lost a member to a bit of a snake. So they might be dismembered here a little bit, but they're not out of the question just yet. 1 or 2 good nades could open things up onto France, could ruin their game. But it's feeling like Turkey is going to get so much time and space from this fight here on the north.
It really does feel like it. Ukraine is dancing around these smokes on the southern side. 1 shot could be all they need to open this up, and it goes towards the side of Ukraine. Snowix goes down, and he almost gets flushed as well. France needs to fall back, at least for now, because Snowix has been flushed out as well. Now the flush has actually gone through. That's massive. That's massive. Also for Turkey, who's just been looking at this from the sidelines and just been thinking, wait, how do we actually finish this? Maybe just let them fight it out, and that's what they've been doing. So good on Turkey. Now they actually engage the Ukrainian side. There's Foopsman, though, bringing things back, and the Czech Republic is still there, right behind them. I don't think Turkey knows about this. Now they do, but that's more kind of time that's can't be invested into what's fighting Ukraine. They need to flush out their Zolo, and the rest on Zayla still hasn't come through. Foopsman is trying to go for more. Can he get a second knock? No, he can't. He's gonna be denied, but it's enough to potentially put some trouble towards the side of Turkey.
Oh, that was looking so good for a second. He was just trying to find another 1v1. You could see he was struggling so hard to find a flush or find another 1v1. Now Turkey able to consolidate. A good nade towards Old Boy. It's a little far, but he's just going to be healing out. Turkey has taken the time now to get the res back up. 9 elims, 4 players alive. They're in the driver's seat for this. And France losing a member to Old Boy there. That might come back to bite them. They need every single man they can get. This is not an easy win here, regardless. If Turkey pulls up on this ridge, with players still holding from far, you see a lot of DMRs in play. If they pull up to the ridge close, with anchors far, this is super winnable for Turkey.
Yeah, it definitely is winnable for Turkey. I'd still say they're in the best of spots. And especially now that Old Boy's been taken out, that means more angles now against the French players. The French players have put up quite the show so far. The IESF World Esports Championship qualifiers here at the Europe region. 118 points. They came into day 1 already swinging right out the gates. They put up massive amounts of frags, but they weren't able to finish any of these rounds. Now today that has changed. They put up the 2nd biggest round, and look what they're facing right now. The one team that had a bigger round than them, 24 frags, record-breaking round as well on day 1 of the qualifiers, and these 2 teams will be facing off. It has to be said, though, France is they are down due to Snowix being taken out by Ukraine earlier.
Old Boy really ruining the plans of the Frenchies. Now the nades are coming out. They're taking the space. They know where Victor is. They want to flush him out. They want to take that space for themselves. And that's a nade that drives right into Victor, knocked at the same time. Turkey is taking control, and Turkey is doing so in a dominant fashion. They're running over this. They're showing everybody, yes, we haven't had the best of days, but we are not to be messed with. And they will clean up this. Surely spot the player behind the car. The trades should be coming out any second now. Look at the angles that they have all around them. This should be impossible to do. He's trying to do the work, though. He finds 2.
Wait,
he finds 2 at 1v2.
Yeah, he's probably down to 1v2, and he's got time for the first aid. He's put down both the players that are close by, and Robs is going to give him the information as well. Which side is this going to come in from? Navalov, what more can you do? And that is going to be it. Unfortunately, the clutch, the one that we've all been waiting for, is not going to come raining through. It is going to be Turkey indeed picking up the 2nd dinner, I think, of this qualification. After that massive win on day 1, this is finally the round where they come back again. It has taken some time for Turkey to get back into the groove of things, but I think we already knew from phase 2 and phase 3 onwards, Turkey had the best chance of winning this. That positioning was absolutely perfect.
That positioning was perfect, but it was a tough fight until Old Boy helps them out, right? Until Old Boy makes that so hard. And I was ready to talk about the Turkey win there. I was ready to talk about the Turkey win. And then suddenly Navalov finds 2, right? Like, out of nowhere. And finds time for a first aid. I thought Turkey was just clearing that as a 4-man, at least as a 3-man. Basilas was so far away. So, crazy stuff towards the end game here. In a crazy game that started off with phases that really just put us down to, I think, 15 teams in phase 3. Yeah, 13 teams in phase 4. We really were bleeding players here, Felix.
Yeah, plenty of these teams also try to go for big rounds. I mean, everyone down there, especially the middle of the pack, they knew if they don't win this round, and we said it before the game, if they don't win this round and they do it in a big fashion, there's not going to be a chance to catch up to Bulgaria. Now, lucky for them, Bulgaria has done absolutely nothing this game. They've gotten 0 points, so the opportunity is still there. But despite Bulgaria not doing anything, the rest of the teams didn't either. So Bulgaria is still kind of in a safe boat. So getting a couple of frags, double digits, is going to be easily enough for them to secure qualification, even if a team like Azerbaijan, Poland takes home the win, because they would need to do so in 15, 20 kill fashion, and that's just not what we've seen from these teams.
I'm hoping someone gets close to make it a little bit spicy towards the end, but it's another big win for Turkey. They haven't been the most consistent team, but they've been winning, and they've been winning a whole lot. Now, big numbers from Silas again, but nicely spread across the team. They were taking fights where they could. They were taking a lot of space early, taking a lot of angles early as well. I really like the approach where they weren't just going for the most central position. They were holding their ground, and they were dominating their ground. And that's how they took out a lot of teams that had to come towards them. Serbia being one that comes to mind, just proning behind cars, no cover to play at all, just getting decimated slowly by that Turkish squad.
Yeah, good stuff coming out from them. Plenty of teams going out early. I expect the same to happen in the next round. And to be honest, it's just always how these qualifiers go. So I wasn't surprised so many teams being taken out. But that combined with the zone, obviously put a huge favor to any of these teams that were able to secure a position early on inside that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 zone towards the western side of Monte especially. So good on all these teams. That's the overall leaderboard. 153 points for that round. Yes, Turkey won it, but I think the star is still Ukraine and France. From the way they've played the second day, they seem to be way more consistent than Turkey. But Turkey is always good for the big rounds, and I guess that was a good testament to that. 118 points for them, 101 Romania. Now it gets spicy. 93 as we go into the last game. 93 points on Bulgaria. Be reminded, top 5 is going towards the IESF World Esports Championship later this year in Riyadh. 93 points on Bulgaria, 71 on Azerbaijan, 70 on Poland, and 66 Belarus. I'd count out Serbia. There's mathematically no way to catch Bulgaria. But Belarus, Poland, and Azerbaijan, these will be the 3 teams that we need to focus on.
For sure. I'm saying Azerbaijan, Poland, because we've seen a 34-point game, but that was from Turkey. That was not from a team in 7th, 8th place, right? That was from a dominant force in this lobby. So I'd be counting that out, but we'll see. And we're hoping that they get close, and we're hoping they put up another good showing. I think, by the way, I don't just think that. Germany out of the bottom half of the scoreboard is something we haven't seen before, but they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Completely unbiased German caster here.
No, that's
love to see that.
That's fair. Look, there's plenty of teams I would have expected to still be there in the top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8 run while we were at the topic of it. I gotta say, this is the most surprising qualifier in IESF PUBG Mobile history. I think there's never been such a dominant force coming out of top 5 that we had a more than 20-point difference before the last 4 games have been played. I don't think that's ever happened. I'm not sure it's going to happen again. That's just really unusual in a best of 12. In a best of 18, best of 20 maybe, but in a best of 12, that's really unusual. So I got to give credit to all these top teams out there, Bulgaria especially, who've really they've just been shining today. So, exciting going into the last game. Is there going to be the chance? I think we'll find out soon, Kobo.
We'll find out soon, and we're going to one last break before we do. So don't go anywhere. One last match to see who makes it to the World Esports Championship. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.